Attention, the Atom of Consciousness by Angel. Introduction. Draw me a table. When we talk about attention, we usually refer to an action related to our conscious ability to focus our spotlight of discernment, to concentrate on something in such a way that allows us a clearer view of its properties, properties that are not immediately apparent and would not emerge in a casual glance. We associate our attention with intention. I intend to be a better husband to my wife, so I will try to pay attention to her words. I certainly do not intend to buy an electric nose hair trimmer in the near future, so I will not pay attention to the myriad ads that pop up before my eyes on social networks. Attention is something we perceive in our minds as something we can control, or at least regulate. This is discriminative attention because its action is to discern something that is already present. We just need to pay attention to it so that we can discern it. This attention requires consciousness in order to exist. Whether it occurs consciously or subconsciously, its result generates an experience of discernment, and an experience exists only in a self-aware consciousness. In this essay, I propose a completely different type of attention. This is attention that occurs on a completely different plane of reality from that discriminative attention we tend to call mindfulness. This statement does not contain anything spiritual or mystical. I'm talking about a simple and self-evident fact. All one needs to do is look at reality with clear eyes, put aside our experience of reality and look at reality as it truly is. This attention can be called universal creative attention. In our experience, what constitutes reality? The immediate answer would be things. We adopt a bottom-up approach and depict the universe as constructed in such a way that the smallest things make up the slightly larger things, and these make up the slightly larger things, and so on until the largest thing, which is the universe itself. If we take the human body as an example, we could say that subatomic particles make up molecules, which make up cells, which make up various materials such as bones, muscles, blood, brain, eyes, and so on, which in turn make up the thing called the body. The same applies to plants, soil, clouds, air, electricity, black holes. This is a very convenient approach because it is very useful. It gives us control over reality. The fundamental laws of the universe tell us how things behave with each other, and thus we can predict our future. We can plan a spacecraft landing on the Moon and on Mars. We can deflect an asteroid from its collision course with Earth. We can defeat viruses, know what the weather will be tomorrow, and even ease our minds with good advice, all because reality is made up of things whose behavior we can predict based on their adherence to the fixed and known laws of physics. But here is an interesting question. If things constantly react to each other, if they are in perpetual interaction with one another, doesn't that mean that all things are in a state of constant change? Even the smallest particles react to each other. Electromagnetic fields change, structural deformations occur, bosons move from one particle to another, energy weakens or intensifies, nothing is free from change. So, can we really call anything a thing? Take, for example, a table. After all, we always take a table as an example. The table is made, among other things, of wood. When did the wood become a table? Was it at the last sanding stroke of the carpenter who made it? Was it when it was first used? And when did the wood itself become wood? Was it when the seed was planted in the ground? Was it when it sprouted for the first time? There is no clear point like this. Not in the past and not in the future. Surely in 10 million years the table will no longer be a table. It will probably become dust that will scatter across the universe. When does this process of the table becoming dust begin? The answer is that it never begins. It is a continuous process that began with the birth of the universe, and its end is unknown. Every table is already dust in the making. It is very convenient for us to draw a table with chalk on the board and say, "This is a drawing of a table." But isn't the real table, the one we place our objects on, also just a drawing? Is the word table merely a decision we made in our minds, a utilitarian decision that ignores the simple truth that, in the raw essence of reality as it is, there is no table? These are not new questions. The philosopher Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz said similar things regarding matter, but he was not the first. Siddhartha Gautama, known as the Buddha, said this more than 2,500 years ago. Things have no separate self-identity and nothing is permanent. Everything is in constant flux and all things are interconnected. Modern science also supports this view. Theoretical physicist Carlo Rovelli states, "Reality is not made of things, but of interactions." Remember the child in the movie The Matrix? There is no spoon, he tells Neo, meaning exactly that. The spoon is merely a utilitarian, but baseless freeze frame of reality. But wait, if reality is not made of things but of interactions, between what does the interaction take place? What reacts to what if not things? We are caught in a paradox. On the one hand, the very fact that things interact with each other blurs to the point of nullifying their existence as things, that is, objects with separate and fixed self-identity. But on the other hand, if things are not things at all, interactions cannot occur. The action must happen between one thing and another. So what is really happening here? After all, there is someone writing these words. It is me. I have a fairly certain and real sense of existence. Also, this table. If I ignore its status as a thing and try to walk through it, it will hurt. So if there's no me, if there is no table, if there's no interaction between me and the table, why would it hurt so much? What on earth exists? The answer this essay proposes to this question is a different kind of attention, universal creative attention. To understand this answer, we must fundamentally understand what this attention truly is, what its role is, how and on whom it acts, and what the significance of this insight is for the universe in general and for us in particular. This is an attention different from discriminative attention. It is an attention whose concern is not to discern something already present, but to create its presence, hence creative. It is an attention that does not need experience to occur, and thus it can occur in everything, hence universal. Again, this is not a spiritual or religious insight, but on the other hand, I'm not sure any immediate scientific profit can be derived from it. It is a different observation of how our reality works, an observation whose essence is not necessarily an answer, but a question. An important note before we begin. In many places I have chosen to use the Hebrew term tzumat lev for the word attention because, as will be explained in detail later, it serves as a very efficient linguistic lever for the conceptual thrust I'm trying to demonstrate. I would like to thank everyone who helped bring this essay to light. Professor Avi El-Kayem and the IDRA Publishing House with all its staff. To Ronnie Somik and Nir Stern, who greatly contributed to the second part of the book, and to Mirav Schreiber, who generously shared with me interesting insights on attention in the most human sense of the term. I thank Ronnie Avni for proofreading the Hebrew version of this essay. I thank my friend Oren Levi for weaving his heart with mine. I thank my family, my beloved children and my wife, without whom I would be a distant observer in this world.